Every day we are comparing ourselves to others. With social media, it's at our fingertips and it's almost impossible not to compare ourselves to others. I want to help you beat that and change your mentality. I'm going to show you what I did to change that in my own life so that I could start living my best life. I get it. This is such a hard thing, figuring out what you value and not making comparisons. When you're looking online and you're seeing someone in their big brand new house and you see their brand new cars and all this stuff, you're like, oh gosh, I don't have any of that. I just don't have any of that. And you get in this slump of what you don't have. And you know what you realize? A lot of those things you see are all materialistic things. And wealth is everything that you can't take with you to the grave. So I like to start and look at and see how we can make good comparisons. And I think first is starting with your values. What do you value? What do you want? How are we going to design your life? And then let's look for people, whether it's our peers, our friends, our bosses, that have some of those values that you see that you want to emulate. Those are good comparisons. Those are the people you want to follow, not necessarily the last Instagram picture in front of the fancy car that you're now bumming that you don't have. So start looking at positive comparisons. Start looking for things that people are doing that you're like, oh gosh, you know what? That's something great that I can adopt and that would be positive and that would go towards what I value and what I want to live my best life. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes, wave your magic wand, and I want you to envision your perfect life. What does it look like? What are you doing? What time do you wake up in the morning? What does your morning routine look like? Where are you working? What does your family situation look like? Envision it all. And it's perfect. It's exactly what you want. So now that you've done that, I want you to actually take pen to paper. Because I think one of the things we need to do is write down how we envision things. We've all heard this before. Write down your goals, write down your goals. But writing down a goal is very different than, hey, this is my picture perfect life. And this is what I think is picture perfect. And guess what? I'll tell you a little story. I did this 7 years ago. My life was very different. And I wrote down my vision. I wrote down from the standing of where I wanted to live, what time I wanted to wake up, what my morning routine was, what it looked like on what I was feeding my kids for breakfast, and what my daily routine looked like at work. And when you start to write down those tiny details of little things, your world starts to come together. Those little goals, those things that, you can't somewhat conceptualize now, and then comparing yourself to others. It might not be important for other people what your vision looks like. So that's when you can stop comparing yourself to others and be like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to live my vision. I'm stopping and stop looking at what others are doing and start looking at the positive in what others are doing and incorporating that into your life. So from the standpoint of, I want to live 10 minutes from my office. I wanted to be able to cook breakfast every morning. I want to be a room mom. I want to be a powerhouse at work. I want to help people every day achieve their dreams. And I wrote this with great detail. 3 pages. It was like reading someone else's story because it wasn't mine at the time. And it really wasn't anyone I knew, because everyone I knew I was comparing myself to, I was comparing on material things, the house they lived in, the cars they drove, the things their kids did. And when I started to write down my vision, I closed my eyes, I waved my magic wand, and I really thought about what my life, my perfect life, would look like. And it all started to come together. And I wrote that story. You have the power to write that story too. So close those eyes, envision what you want. If money wasn't an issue, if where you live wasn't an issue, if your job wasn't an issue, what would your life look like? I'd love for you to comment below and tell me what your best life looks like. I want to help you. I want to hear. I want to see how I can get you there faster. Let me know, what does your best life look like? What did you sit and envision for living your best life?